protecting him. Curry County District Attorney Matt Chandler.
These officers are committed to working diligently, just as they did with the capture of Noe Torres, to make sure that Edward Salas is captured and brought back to New Mexico to spend the rest of his life behind bars.
Do you guys have any clue where he is?
I can't comment on that.
Torres will be in front of a Clovis judge in the morning to finally face the murder charges he's been running from. After that, he'll be transferred to the maximum security unit at the state pen in Santa Fe, where he'll be held until his trial. Dick?
All right, Alex, Torres was captured after he actually wrote a letter to Governor Martinez earlier this year. He asked her to help him prove his innocence, among other things. Martinez happened to have a scheduled dinner with the governor of Chihuahua that night. She gave him the letter, briefed him on the case, and asked for his help in catching Torres. Mexican officers caught him 6 days later as he left a religious compound in Chihuahua.
It's been a rough couple of weeks in the metro. Shot Solar, Loveless Hospital, and HP all announcing layoffs. Every politician agrees creating jobs is a top priority, but they definitely do not agree on how to do that. News 13's Katie Kim is live in downtown. Katie?
Jessica, Mayor R.J. Berry and Governor Susana Martinez insist they know what's needed to generate more jobs. But one leading lawmaker says they're on the wrong track.
It's been blow after blow.
We're really treading water right now.
3 major metro companies announcing layoffs that will cost 380 jobs.
It is a mixed bag right now.
But both Mayor R.J. Berry and Governor Susana Martinez insist the news isn't all bad.
We have Honeywell, who's bringing 100 to 200 jobs to New Mexico. We have Lowe's, up to 600 jobs more.
Lowe's recently opened a call center here and plans to have it fully staffed by late next year. Honeywell's avionics division is moving here from Kansas. But Martinez and Berry both say the state needs to cut regulations and taxes to attract more companies and jobs.
We need to keep pushing forward to make sure that people outside understand that this is a great place to do business.
Just cutting taxes isn't going to do it.
Albuquerque Democrat Jerry Ortiz-Pino points out Shot Solar got huge incentives, then pulled out, leaving the state holding the bag for $16 million. The senator believes New Mexico can put people to work now by building highways and other projects.
The only real growth that we can sustain, I think, is growth that comes from within.
Martinez isn't talking about more public works projects. In order to make the economy grow, she's standing by her priorities: revamp education, prepare students for a competitive workforce, and
Number 3, making New Mexico safe. Making sure that New Mexico isn't a magnet for people who come here to commit fraud and then leave our state.
But Ortiz-Pino claims the governor is missing the mark.
She's locked into 3 basic positions, and moving beyond those so far hasn't happened. What we need is some leadership on the most pressing issue, which is jobs, and that's where we haven't seen anything yet.
The legislature passed several tax bills earlier this year to help businesses, but they just took effect July 1st. So the governor says it'll take some time for them to have an impact. Back to you.
Okay, Katie. Martinez and Berry both told us their economic development departments are working hard to bring more companies and jobs to the state, but neither promised any big announcements anytime soon. Hundreds of jobs are expected to be created when Albuquerque's convention center goes under construction for a makeover. The mayor showed off the revamp plans today. He wants to give the 40-year-old building a New Mexican feel like the Sunport. He says that should help attract conventions to the city. The project will cost $20 million. The city is refinancing the building to help cover the cost. 2,400 construction workers are expected to upgrade the building. The work should be done by 2014.
Nearly $250,000. That's what one man's mistakes, an outdated payroll system, and poor training will cost state government. Because of 2 separate mistakes, almost 8,000 state workers were shorted on their paychecks last month. DFA officials said today that the same person made both of those mistakes. But they say other staff should have caught the mistakes. The state has now spent $48,000 to have the company that owns the payroll software figure out exactly what went wrong. And it plans to pay another $200,000 for an outside contractor to come in, oversee the system for 6 months, and train the people who use it. Attorney General Gary King will run for governor again. King told an Albuquerque radio station this morning he has formed a campaign committee and will seek the Democratic nomination in 2014. He is the son of the late Bruce King, who was the longest-serving governor in state history. Gary King ran unsuccessfully for governor in 1998 and 2002. This is his second term as AG.
Was it intentional or not? An Albuquerque man is charged with extreme animal cruelty after deputies say he dragged his girlfriend's dog for 3 miles, killing it. Family members say there's no way he would have done that on purpose. News 13's Amanda Goodman reports.
He is accused of a gruesome crime. Bernalillo County deputies say Raul Marufo dragged his girlfriend's small dog Blackie nearly 3 miles behind his car to its death after the two got in a fight Monday morning. Other drivers called 911 to report it.
Callers that had called in also stated that they saw the man who was driving the vehicle actually stop. He got out of the vehicle, retrieved the dog, and tried to hide it in the bushes, and then left the scene.
Deputies were able to catch up to Marufo walking away from the scene. He still had blood on his shirt.
They found a leash that had a bloody clasp on it.
So how could something like this happen? Marufo's girlfriend told deputies after their fight he took off with Blackie, but came back a short time later and pushed the dog out of the car. She says Blackie was still on the leash. Family members think maybe the leash got caught in the door.
That's not him. It's not. So I honestly believe it was an accident.
Marufo's niece says there is no way her uncle would do something like that on purpose. She says she hadn't seen the dog around, but that he's had pets in the past.
He's really good with animals.
BCSO says it doesn't know if Marufo meant to kill the dog or not because he isn't talking. But either way, it's still extreme animal cruelty. Amanda Goodman, KRQE News 13.
Marufo is out of jail tonight. He was not home, though, when we tried to talk to him.
A suspected burglar apparently committed suicide in an Albuquerque house late this afternoon. Neighbors say they spotted a man crawling through the window of a house on Florida Northeast and called police. When officers got there, they surrounded the house and tried to contact the man, but they got no response. When they used the homeowner's key to get in, they found the suspect dead with what appeared to be a self-inflicted gunshot. Police have not released his name. There's a manhunt in northern New Mexico tonight for a man who fired at Jicarilla Apache cops near Dulce this afternoon. An officer stopped the suspect on Highway 64 and saw a gun and a bulletproof vest in the vehicle. When questioned about that, the man ran and started shooting. Police shot back. Nobody was hit. The man got away. The family of a woman who died after being deliberately locked in the trunk of her car has now settled a lawsuit against the city of Socorro. Teresa Seiss was stuffed in the trunk by John Hayden on a sweltering day in June 2 years ago. Hayden, who wanted to be her boyfriend, drove the car to an arroyo and left it in 102-degree heat. Seiss called for help on her cell phone from the trunk, but the phone died, and when the car was finally found the next day, she was dead. Her family claims police did not do enough to find her. They settled with the city for $350,000. John Hayden was charged with murder in the case, but convicted of involuntary manslaughter. He got 4.5 years in prison.
Cops are still looking for the driver in a deadly hit and run last week. Susan Davidson had just stepped off a bus at Lomas in San Mateo when she was hit and killed. Witnesses described the vehicle that hit her as a black Toyota Tacoma. The driver didn't stop. She was just 18, driving home when someone shot her dead. 23 years later, one of Albuquerque's most haunting murders is still unsolved. At 10:13, where is Caitlin Arquette's killer? And
a career criminal keeps committing crimes. Cops and prosecutors keep putting her in jail. Judges keep releasing her. At 10:17, Kim Holland is on special assignment with the story of a woman who has a key to the jailhouse door.
Well, storms were a little harder to come by today, so we'll have a forecast coming up tonight that will actually draw a parallel between the day after Thanksgiving and your weather. We'll explain when we return.
Caitlin Arquette was driving by herself on Lomas when someone pulled along.